Amendment is sacrosanct. Right now, President Trump can't even comment on why he believes he's not getting a fair trial here in New York. So why we're here today is to make sure that we expedite review of the court's decision. We're pleased that the court granted an expedited briefing schedule, but what's really shocking is the Attorney General refused to do anything to expedite review of this. Why? Because this Attorney General wants to continue the rigged case that she's had all along. This Attorney General has no regard for the constitutional rights or any other rights of President Trump, and she's just interested in pursuing the goal of getting Trump at any cost. It's really shocking that someone who doesn't have any standing, the order doesn't affect the Attorney General, refuses to get out of the way to allow us to appeal to a higher court, which is President Trump's right. This Attorney General wants to do everything to make this unfair delay. I think we need to have the Attorney General considered for a position on the CFP selection committee, because that's the only thing I can think of in the last week that I've seen is as controversially rigged as the Attorney General's view of this case.
You mentioned that she was not a party to this proceeding, Justice Engoron is. Did you ask the court system whether they would entertain expediting the briefing here?
The court system didn't appear today. At least I didn't see.
No, the court system was there.
Well, they didn't take any position that I could see.
Did you ask them if they had a position?
They didn't take any position.
Did you contact them in advance to see if they took
We didn't have
position?
time to contact them in advance because we're here on an expedited basis.
Is there
The way that this
resolve
goes.
this before President Trump's testimony next week?
I don't know. That's really the point of it. That's exactly why the Attorney General doesn't want the gag order lifted, doesn't want to have any chance for that happening. Is because she knows that President Trump's going to be here. We're going to run out the clock. That's what we're going to do. We're going to run out the clock on President Trump's rights, just like she's trampled on President Trump's rights since the beginning of this case. It's no different.
To ask Justice Engoron to pause the trial so that President Trump's appellate rights will be vindicated?
I think you're probably smart enough to know where that would land. So I try not to engage in futile efforts.
How's it going to work with the schedule, with him taking the stand and this happening here and that happening there? How's that going to work for you? Everyone here.
How do you mean?
Just it's going to be chaotic. I mean, he can't.
No more chaotic than the whole rest of the trial. No, if you're asking about how we'll be in two places at once, we won't, because the way this process is going to work is this gets submitted on the papers, so there won't be another argument. At least if there is one, it won't be next Monday. So we'll be in court on Monday with President Trump. And President Trump will do, as he always does, everything he can to vindicate his rights and make his position heard, even though there's an effort to keep him from exercising his right to core political speech. It's hard to believe in America that the front-running presidential candidate in the United States of America is not allowed to talk about why he's not getting a fair trial in New York. Unbelievable.
Is he coming this week?
You'll have to check his calendar on that. I believe that I've received notification that he'll be here on Thursday.
Mr. Kise, you mentioned that the Attorney General wouldn't agree to expedite the briefing. Weren't they just ordered by the court, however, to get their briefing in by 10 a.m. on Monday so that this matter could be heard in an expedited
They were,
fashion?
but they could have agreed to do it sooner than that even. The fact that we had to go upstairs to the court and have them be ordered to expedite their briefing is a shocking tribute to how much this Attorney General wants to trample the constitutional rights of President Trump.
But this matter could be decided by the appellate division as early as Monday afternoon?
That's really up to them. I mean, it will be submitted to the appellate division by 10 a.m. on Monday, but when they decide the case is entirely up to them, as always with the appellate division. We certainly appreciate the appellate division expediting it as much as possible within the limitations that they have.